prophet said, man. Okay? Notwithstanding, you still got to get to work and do this, that, and the third. The scripture says, it talks about daily bread, man. All right? But the point I'm making is that you got individuals out there that make the daily bread a part of this life their whole being. They make that their whole, their honest stuff in their conversation, man. And you ain't supposed to be doing that. That's why the scripture says what it says here, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. And the scripture goes on to say, from such turn away. So you see a guy like that, you know, no, I ain't dealing with you, man. you go be about your money, but you go be about your money somewhere else, man. And we ain't about that here, man. All right, we're about this word, man. And the Most High is gonna see to it that we're fed. Just like how it says within the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter, which I might get a little bit later on, man. Okay? It says, for of this sort, they creeping into houses and lead away silly women laden with sin, all right? Led away with divers lost, even ever learning, but never coming to knowledge of the truth, man. So you go this individual that keeps on coming and he's always out there with low-class cologne, okay? All right, and he's always on there now. He's like the flavor of the month. And his whole thing is that he studied this Israelite movement thing for 7 years, and because he was given a certain instruction, all right, everything that he's learned goes to the bin. But you see, this guy, he's always in his books and so on and so forth, all right. He can quote all of these different, archaeological books and so on and so forth. He appears clever, man. But ultimately, the scripture says this: ever learning, but never coming to any understanding. Because if he was actually learning, if he was actually understanding what the scripture says, then he would know, hey, look, you bucked up against the wrong tree, okay, right? You did something that you wasn't supposed to do, but that doesn't negate the fact that this man's gonna be destroyed, okay? That his system, his power structure is nothing, man, okay? The Esau's power structure is just nothing right now, man. Now, it should be on the pinnacle, they go out there, they could bomb the hell out of a country like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and nobody could say anything against that. See, now all of these different countries have developed their own ICBM nuclear missile, man. Now it's like, I'll now become as weak as we? That's where it come down to now, man. Okay? So it says here, back within the book of Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and the 7th verse, it says, ever learning, but never able to come to any knowledge of truth. So they never come into any knowledge of truth. And that's why I brought out that precept within Isaiah, the 28th chapter, because, hey, man, not Isaiah, rather more Jeremiah, the 28th chapter, because they came into the way of truth. They came into the understanding of truth. Okay? They won't really be making these false prophecies about this kingdom being all right for you to jet set and relax and party and BS and all of that. If they came to the truth, they wouldn't do that, man. Okay, so let's move on to the next precept right quick. Right, what did I have prepared? So Isaiah the 43rd chapter and the first verse, man. All right, this is Isaiah Isaiah 43 and 1. Okay, let me start from the top. All right, so Isaiah 43 and 1. And this was the history will come back to me as I read it, but I believe this was when you basically had the Babylonians and all of that. They was in rulership, and this was them being prophesied to be taken down. If I'm not mistaken, or rather more, because Isaiah he prophesied about 200 years into the future, all right, and he was prophesying of Babylon being destroyed. So this is that account. If my history serves me correctly. So Isaiah 43 and 1 says, but now thou sayest the Lord, right, that created thee, O Jacob, right, he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee, and I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. It says, when thou passest through the waters, I'll be with thee, and through the rivers, right, they shall not overflow thee. So one of these different nations will come up upon us, just like how it says within the book of Hosea 1 and 5, right? How we're going to be as the sands of the sea. Well, all of these nations was going to come upon us as a flood. Ultimately, the Most High was going to have mercy upon us to where, we wasn't going to be completely destroyed. Okay? So it says there, back in Isaiah 43 and 2, it says, when thou art passed through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, and they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, right, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindled thee. For I am thy power, the Holy One of Israel. I gave Egypt as a ransom, and Ethiopia rather more Ethiopia and Sheba before this. So when you go into the history, all right, you had a situation that occurred. And basically, you had it to where the Egyptians, man, they was trying to come up against Israel. I believe it was under the king Necho, okay, the Pharaoh Egyptian king Necho. And I think he was trying to come up against Israel, and pretty much you had it to where the Babylonians, they had intervened in that. So the Most High gave, that's an example. The Most High, basically, if I remember the exact ins and outs of it, point by point correctly. But that's a situation that happened with Moses. Basically, he gave them Egyptians up for a ransom, all right? Because just like how it says within the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter and the 17th verse, these nations are a drop in the bucket, man, to the Most High. But Israel, that's the Lord called out his fervent lover, man. That's his favorite people, man. Okay, the Lord said, yeah, that's more okay, tsunami, whatever. He don't care. He doesn't care. Save that you might have some Jake out there, because we do talk about how he's gonna have Jake scattered amidst those people, man. So you're gonna have some Jakes there, but if they died in that thing, man, they died because they was wicked, man. Okay. So it says, hey, fear not, I am with thee, and I'll bring that seed from the east and gather them from the west, man. So let's jump to the book of Amos 9:9. So here it is. You got this destruction coming up, and it's impending, man. You got people, being dropped all over the place, and whatever. But the Lord said, look, I'm still gonna bring I'm still gonna have mercy on you, man. Okay, I'm still gonna see it to where all of the scattered are amidst all of these different nations, they're gonna be brought forth through, okay, and both back into the fold, man. Or save that they'll be of the elect, and they see, understand and accept, what the doctrine is all about. Okay. Amos 9:9 says, for lo, I will command and I'll sift the house of Israel from among all nations like corn is sifted in the sieve. It shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So, hey, the least guy amidst Jake, the least guy amidst, the real Israelites, that's likened unto the least grain. When you sieving, okay, all right, and you're sieving, and you're trying to take out all of that the gun. So you might have hey, you got some Jakes out there that don't even have to sieve corn, because they live that Edomite lifestyle, man. Okay, never lifting a finger, of which them Edomites, they're gonna go back to the gutters anyway, man. But the point I was making was this: when you got corn, right? Okay, when you got corn, all right, or any grain like that, okay, what you do is you pick off the corn off the corn, right, and you put it into a grinder and you grind it. But see, if it's not of a fine fine grind, what you have to do is you have to sieve it so you can get only the fine stuff at the bottom, only the fine flour at the bottom. Okay, that's what is sieving. But the Lord said when He's sieving, the house of Israel, like corn is sifted in the sieve, not even the least grain is gonna fall up on the ground, man. So the least guy, the least Jake, the Jake that's just apparently on the lowest of levels, but he's still off the elect. Lord said not even that guy is gonna be destroyed, and ultimately all of Israel ain't gonna be destroyed, because we know through the scriptures that how the Lord's gonna bring the 2/3 are gonna be destroyed by way of the ICBM nuclear missiles on this side, okay, and all kind of other atrocities that's gonna befall the wicked of the Israelites. Right, we know that they're gonna make it to the other side, because they're gonna come back as newborn babies, man, through the process of reincarnation. Okay, so it says here, like corn is sifted in the sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Right, it's back within the book of Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, and the 5th verse. It says, "Fear not, for I am with thee, and I'll bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west, and they shall and I will say to the north, give up the south, and give not back. Bring It says, bring my sons from afar off and my daughters from the ends of the earth." All right. It goes on to say, even one, right? Even one that is called by my name, I have created him for my glory, and I have formed him. Yea, I have made him. Okay, so you're gonna have you're gonna have a situation, man. All right, the Lord's gonna be basically bringing all of these different people, right, from afar off, man, from the ends of the earth. Okay. All right, so let's jump into the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter, right quick. All right. So Isaiah 65, starting from the top. It says, I am sore of them that ask me not. So in the same dynamic of Jake's coming back into this truth, man. All right. Hey, this thing was when the Lord was on the scene. Okay, when the men of the Lord started teaching this thing, it was taught to who? It was taught to, straight up Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. Okay. Hey, when the Lord was on the scene, he taught this truth to who? To straight up Jews. Okay, that were living within the land of Jerusalem at that time. Okay, he was teaching that truth unto them. But see, now you got the same situation happening. You started off first and foremost with the straight up Israelites, your Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and now you got it to where this truth is being pushed even further than that, because just like how I showed you that you was gonna have to scare it, man. Let me prove that within the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 64th verse, man. Okay, so Deuteronomy 28 and 64. All right. But Deuteronomy 28 and 64, it says, the Lord shall scatter thee, right, among all people, from one end of the earth even unto another, and they shall not be any, and let me read that again. It says, the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. There thou shalt serve other gods, which thy neighbor nor thy fathers have known. Okay, so hey, you was gonna have it to where Jake was gonna be scattered amongst all of these different nations, man. Right, amongst all of them heathen nations. But see, now we're getting into that time where the Lord's redeeming all those people, as we've seen within the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, the 9th verse. Okay, and the Lord's basically saying, hey, I'm sort of them that never knew my. Would you say? Let me read it properly. He says, I'm sort of them that I'm sort of them that asked not for me, and found in them that sought me not. So them guys that not necessarily were looking for this, they really ultimately Jake's got zeal for this truth, but you got Jake's out there. Right, within America, just like how we had Jakes out there within Jerusalem, and they were going super duper hard for this truth. Right, you had the Pharisees that was going super duper hard for this truth and apparently keeping up the Lord's commandments of the Most High. But see, ultimately they weren't doing it in the spirit, man. Okay, they weren't doing it in the spirit, and it happened that the Most High had it to where He had mercy going out onto the foreigners, man, the Israelite foreigners, who ultimately, hey man, they had a remnants of truth, but they weren't really going for it like how them Jakes out there within the land of Jerusalem were going for it. That's why the scripture says what it says there. It says, I said, behold me unto a nation that was called by my name. It says, I have spread my hands all day unto a rebellious house, which walketh in a way that is not good, man. All right, and that's what you were seeing within the book of 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, man. The boasters, lovers of themselves, covetous, okay, heady, right? Despisers of parents, man. All right, starting first and foremost with your own parents and within your so-called household and all of that, and then you bring that same doctrine and the same disobedience unto the men of the Lord. They're actually looking out for your own interests, man. Your long-term interests, your short-term interests. They're looking out for all of that, man. Right, but Jake is so hard-headed, they can't see the benefits of being cursed out, man. They can't see the benefits of being reproved and put into life, man. It's not for it caused me no pleasure to tell you that you're going off, because you're going off. All right, but I'm trying to see it fit to where you get into a state where you might receive mercy, man. All right. So it says, hey, I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that is not, which is not good, right? And after their own thoughts. Okay, so I'm gonna get the book of Hosea 4 and 6 right here. Or rather more, I got better scriptures than that. Let me search it out. Okay, because these people, man, these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, they want to walk in their own way. They want to walk in a way that's pleasing unto them, man. Okay, they want to basically just go about their business, and when the Most High judges this place, they still want to obtain mercy, man. Okay, so let me get this scripture right quick. I believe it's in the book of Isaiah. Okay. And I'm gonna get the book of Jeremiah as well, man. All right, so this is Isaiah 30 and 10. It says, which say to the seers, all right, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Okay, so ultimately that's the mental mindset of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They're like, look, we don't want to hear that rough a truth that you're speaking, because that goes up against everything that we believe. We want to hear, everything that we want. We want to hear smooth things. We want to know how this kingdom's going to last forever. We want to know how our kids is going to grow up and we're going to see our grandkids and so on and so forth. That's what they want to hear, man. But Scripture says, hey, we say to the seers and to the prophets, prophecy not, right? Rather see not, rather more, and says, and say to the prophets, prophecy not, right? Unto us right things, prophesy deceit, because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear deceits, okay? They want to hear lies. You're going to be all right, okay? This man's going to, gonna allow you to coexist with it, okay? But that's not gonna happen, because guess what? Because that's against the scriptures. That's against what it says within the Bible, man. Okay? The Most High set forth a certain amount of ordinances that was gonna happen, okay? All right, irregardless of what these people desire and what they want, man. Okay? All right, so let's get back within the book of Isaiah. I'll leave Jeremiah to another time, all right? Because really, that scripture pretty much puts it all into a nice a nutshell, man. Okay, Isaiah 65:3, it says, and the people that provoke me to anger continually, right, to my face, and sacrificeth in the gardens, and burneth incense upon altars of brick. In fact, I'll get Jeremiah 19:4, man. Okay, right, because that's what these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans do, man. They sacrifice unto idols, okay, pray unto idols, all right. But when they're told of the Most High, when they're told of the judgment that the Most High is going to bring upon this place, they don't want to hear it, man. Because they want to hear smooth things, okay? They want to hear deceits. They want to hear lies, man. And hey, that ties in quite nicely with what it was saying within the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah the 28th chapter. And the Lord said unto Hananiah, look, you are not a prophet of the Most High. I haven't sent you, man. And that's going to be said of a lot of these different guys that are prophesying of deceit, of prophesying of peace, okay, prophesying of things of making it within this society and being at peace with Esau and so on and so forth. The Lord said, look, they're not of me, man. To hell with them guys, man. Okay, all right. The men that are out there rough, okay. Hey, the scripture says, hey, though I be rude in speech, I be not rude in knowledge. Hey, we're out there rough, raw, ready, man. Okay. But you don't see us, preaching, teaching the word, unto malice, unto wickedness, unto vainglory and unto boasting. We don't teaching this thing of making money or anything like that, man. We're teaching this thing for the love of teaching this thing. It really ultimately goes onto the spirit that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua put this upon us, because the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophets. The prophets are going to prophesy regardless of how they feel, man. It's just their job to do, man. Like, you got a guy that talks too much, man. Well, it don't matter if you got a gun to that guy's head. It don't matter if that guy is hanging by his neck. That guy's just going to talk too much. Well, that's the same thing that goes for the prophets of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. They're just going to prophesy, whether they're making money, whether they're not making money, whether they're bums, whether they're not bums, okay? They're going to be prophesying whatever situation that they're in, because that is their allotment. That is what they do, man. Okay? That is what they do, man. All right? It says here within the book of Jeremiah, 19:4, this is because they have forsaken me, all right, and this is talking about the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, all right, they have forsaken the Lord, okay, they've turned their back against the Lord. That's why the scripture says within the book of Hosea 4:6, my people are rejected for a lack of knowledge, man. They're rejected because they're like, I ain't trying to hear that, man. That's too rough for me, man. I'm just gonna go about my day and do whatever. But that's the spirit of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They just want to do whatever instead of being vested within this truth, being vested in the scriptures and the ordinances that the Most High has set forth. Hey, we all understand we're in this place, man. We all understand that the Most High has it to where the wicked are in rulership. There's only so much you can do. We understand that. Like, to hell, you're supposed to be making the effort, man. Okay? So it says, hey, because they have forsaken me and they have exchanged this place, right? So when we was living out there in the land of Israel, okay, that's the Lord's favorite land upon the earth. That's his favorite place upon the earth. So when we was living upon there, the Lord said we exchanged the place because we was doing stuff that was seen as heathenistic, man. It's not seen as heathenistic. It was heathenistic. Okay, you had certain kings, they were sacrificing their children unto Moloch. That defiled the land. Okay, you had all kind of, whores and harlots and so on and so forth. That defiled. You had homos. That defiled the land. And the scripture says you wasn't supposed to do that, man. Okay, so it says here, and they have exchanged this place and burnt incense unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah. So they were doing things that within the history, man, Jake wasn't known for doing them things, man. But see, they were seeking out the ways of the heathen, okay? All right, and most of the time it came down to this. It came down to business and commerce. You got a certain particular heathen, he's doing business and commerce, and you're seeing him doing good and so on and so forth. And he says, look, this is how you're supposed to do, man. You pray to this, that, you sacrifice to this, and all that, and this, that, and the third. And you got it to where Jake started incorporating that into their way of life, man. All right. You also had it to where they were intermarrying within the history. Now you can have concubines in them different nations, but goddamn it, they're supposed to be underneath your order, man. Okay, they're supposed to be underneath your rule of thumb, man. Okay, then you ain't supposed to have a concubine out there cooking you some swine or some nonsense or anything like that. That's against the scriptures, man. All right, you're supposed to put that, you know, I'll use a different term. You're supposed to put that concubine in line, man. All right. We had it to where they were marrying into them different families, and you know they became the heathen, man. They became the heathen. That's why the scriptures talk about how Israel became a strange and degenerate vine unto the Lord, because they actually became the heathen. They were worse off than they were so vested in that. Like you see a Jake within this society, and you see him throwing a suit or anything like that. Man, he'll rock that suit like he was on a higher level than Esau, man. He'll go so even further than Esau and being Esau. Okay. Now you see, you go into them business enterprises and so on and so forth. You go into the business, into the corporate realm, okay? And the snobbery is all-time highest. Hey, the biggest snubs is Jake, man. Esau kind of do you kind of some kind of reasoning and so on and so forth. But the biggest ones of being Esau is Jake, man. Why? Because that's why it goes back onto what the scriptures say. All right. In that basically these people have put away their own ways, and they've taken on the fashions of the heathen. The camera's not there, my man. It's playing this way. All right. It says Isaiah 19:4. It says, because they have